Some questions on the test, but there's only a single Jeopardy, so you gotta study your check on learnings. You gotta study your check on learnings. So we're gonna look at APB breaches, earned value, breaches, basic information systems, logistics, RMS, and ESO and H. All right, so for breaches, the blank is developed by the PM at milestone blank and updated prior to each milestone and reflects the approved program being executed.
A, P, B, and B.
Right? Acquisition program baseline and milestone B, so it officially become a program. What is the PAUC? Program acquisition unit cost, right? Some of the breakdowns. What's a critical breach?
15%, 25%.
All right, so 25 and 50. And so, and that's like what the Colonel explained to you before, we use just the rebaseline. And then we fall behind, and then we rebaseline right before we get to a breach, and then there's no breach. And then we rebaseline, we just continue to get money, get later and later and over cost. Finally, Congress said, no, once you get past 50% of what your original budget was, you got a breach. So we just, it stopped us from just nickel and diming to avoid the breach. When a program deviation occurs, the PM must notify the MDA when?
Immediately.
And then how long for the follow-up?
30 days.
30 days. All right, so we have the flexibility to work within the, between threshold and objective. What's that?
Trade
Space.
space.
Threshold and objective, right? So they're gonna accept the threshold, but we wanna get to the objective. If we can't, you know, or if we start running behind in money, we can say, does it have to go 100 meters? Is 90 fine? We can start saving some money and time on those, that trade space. All right, so the responsibility assignment matrix shows the intersection of the what? Work breakdown structure and the what? Right. All right, so pay attention to the test in this question. Right. The WBS, what work needs to be done, and the OBS, who does the work. You may see the WBS, who does the work, and the OBS, what work needs to be done, all right? So I'm giving you a heads up that this question can be tricky. Read the whole question, okay? That's all I gotta say about that. All right, so what's the three-step process to develop the PMB, the performance measurement baseline? Find the work, schedule the work, and then allocate your budgets. Very good. Blank is a formal review conducted jointly between the government and contractor. It's mandatory for all EVM contracts within 180 days. Assess the validity of control accounts, budgets, resources, and time phasing. What is that? Integrated baseline review, the IBR. Right. Integrated baseline review required within 180 days of contract award between the PM, government PM, and the contractor PM teams. Two major types of EVM surveillance performed by DCMA. System surveillance and then program contract surveillance. Contract, I'm sorry, that's a typo there. All right, how many EVS guidelines?
12.
How many EVMS guidelines? 32. 32 EVMS guidelines. All right, so this type of system, what type of software system we described here? Intelligence system, strategic and tactical intelligence. C4ISR, right? Command control. All right, so the common software development approaches include waterfall, incremental, spiral, and agile. The blank is the current act covering the acquisition of information technology.
Non-McCurry?
No.
Oh, Klinger-Cohen.
Klinger-Cohen, right? Klinger-Cohen is software, none-McCurdy's breaches.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, so remember that. Klinger-Cohen software, computers, CC. Klinger-Cohen computers, right? All right, blank provides an organization with a set of processes that's done by qualified personnel with the right procedures and the right tools, right, standards. Key InfoSec technologies include firewalls, encryptions, and antivirus software. There are how many integrated product support elements? 12. Two types of maintenance are preventative and repair. Right? What is this? First attainment of minimum capability. First unit to receive your system.
IOC.
IOC. Blank supports the acquisition process by ensuring that logistics considerations are properly planned, integrated within the design, blah, 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 blah. Life cycle logistics. Three major areas of life cycle logistics are blank, sustainment logistics, and then performance-based life cycle product support. What's the first one?
Acquisition.
Acquisition, right? Acquisition logistics goes all the way up to IOC. It's as we're developing the system. And then sustainment and performance-based logistics are after it's actually fielded. A blank is a term that includes personnel, supplies, equipment, and real property, land and facilities necessary to deploy and sustain a weapon system. What do we call that? Logistical footprint. Two goals for RMS are higher operational effectiveness and lower ownership costs, correct? Am I going too fast? Blank not only concerns the system itself, but the entire infrastructure needed to sustain it. Supportability. Blank incorporates non-proprietary interfaces, protocols, industrial standards, interoperability, components, and portability. Open system architecture, right? The key there is non-proprietary. Right? Non-proprietary, so open systems architecture. Rules of daily development. What is the measure of maintainability? Mean time to repair. Maintainability is mean time to repair. How long does it take to fix? How long does it take to maintain it? Blank requires the program manager to prepare a PESI. What requires us to do that? What? So the DoD Act 5000.02 requires that we develop a PESI for our program. 3 ways to analyze and document potential hazards. Right? Categorical exclusion or excluded, do an environmental assessment or an environmental impact statement. Blank minimize the probability of inadvertent initiation and the severity of subsequent collateral damage. What do we call that? Insensitive munitions. Right? What happens if I shoot that MIC-LIC? Is it going to make all the other MIC-LICs go off? We've got to test for that. What's the executive order for greening the government? EO 13101. There are blank safety standard, mandatory system safety steps.
8.
There are 8. And that is the end of your checking one.